George Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We have one of America's top motivational speakers, trainers, coaches, you name it. This brother is bad, and I'm privileged to call him a friend. Dr. Willie Jolley is in the house, and as is our practice over the last few years, I don't even know how many years this has been, but at the beginning of the year, we must kick off this year with Dr. Willie Jolley, who gives us some tools to help make sure that our year is the way that we want it. And so, Brother Willie Jolley, Happy New Year, by the way. And at the time of this conversation, by the way, we should just be straight up. You're in DC. I'm here up in upstate New York. And at the time of our conversation, well, I was getting ready to say something that would have been bleeped, but some stuff has gone down in DC. We witnessed a coup attempt, a takeover of the U.S. Capitol, and let me name it for what it is. Willie, I'm getting ready to name it by white supremacist terrorists, egged and abetted by the President Trump of these United States of America. That's what happened in this week in Washington, D.C., as they were trying to certify the electors for President-elect Joe Biden. So in that context, Willie, is how we are having that conversation. So I want to name that moment in history, because I think it's important for us to, even though this has happened, and at the time our viewers and listeners will hear this, it's a little bit later past that, but in the moment that you and I are getting together, this has happened in our country. And so it's in that backdrop that we come together to build. Even in the midst of that, we still got to live our lives. We still have to pursue our goals and our objectives. So I just want to give you some, if anything you want to say about that, please go ahead on and do that.
Well, it's part of what we've got to look at in the whole panoramic view of what's going on in the world. And we're in the midst of a changing time, unlike anything we've ever seen in our lifetime. We've got, at the same time, a pandemic, economic downturn, massive job loss, racial strife, social upheaval, ecological disruption with hurricanes on one coast, so many so fast that they ran out of names, fires on the other coast that were more destructive than anything we've seen in over a century. And then this political season where we have seen things we could never have imagined. The vitriol and the hatred and it keeps going. You know, this should have ended in November, and yet it keeps going. And look, this is not going to end today, tomorrow, this weekend, next week, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. It's an unbelievable experience. We're in a time unlike anything now. What do we do here? We're in the midst of a setback, series of setbacks. The world is in anxiety. Brother George, we are seeing the highest rate of suicides we've seen in multiple decades. We are in a time of massive anxiety, overwhelm. People are living lives of quiet desperation. They're outside, they look okay, but on the inside, they're falling apart. This is tough. And you homeschooling, you got to be the principal, you got to be the teacher, you got to be the breadwinner. All of this is happening all at one time. You got people who lost their jobs, and then the ones who stayed have survivor guilt. It's tough. So what do we do? That's what I want to talk to folks about. You're bringing this at a timely time, but we are inspiration for the nation. That's what I loved about you from the moment we met. What is that? 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago. And you called me. I think it was my book, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life, was out.
That's
And
right.
you called and said, I saw your book in a bookstore and I bought it. Man, this is one of the best books and it's a bestseller. Da, 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 da. I said, I want to be on with you. And we became friends. And you came down here and I've been up there to speak. And you came and took me to the station and took me around in a beautiful area. Now, how we get through this. Here's what I want to say to everybody.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
That it's going to take some things that we got to do. One, you must, even in the midst of this craziness,
yes,
you cannot panic. You must not panic. Now, what does that mean? That means you must not strike off and just react. You got to respond. That was the difference. And let me tell you the difference. React means negatives. It's a negative return on some sort of effect or action. You know, wherever there's a action, there's an equal and equal reaction. Well, to react means that you go back at whatever came to you. We must not react in whatever you're going through. You lost your job, don't react. Don't jump off a bridge. Don't take a gun. You know, 1929, people panicked. Some jumped off of bridges. Some took guns and blew out their brains, not realizing the market would come back bigger and better than ever. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
So you got to respond. Now, what does respond mean? React. If you went to the doctor and he gave you some medicine or she gave you some medicine and you had a reaction, you know that that's negative. That's not good.
Right, right.
But if you responded, that's good. That meant there was some positive. So I'm saying to everybody, I want you right now to not panic. Don't make any reactionary decisions. I want you to respond. Think through everything you're doing. We must think through. This is a time where you must think your way through. We got to think wise. There's a time for wise thoughts. You got to pray for wisdom. So one of the things I'm encouraging people, don't panic. Number two, don't willingly participate nor commiserate. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah. Don't willingly participate or commiserate.
That's right. Don't willingly participate nor commiserate. In the midst of a pandemic, how do you participate? Here's how you participate. What's the right word? You sign up to get sick. That's what. Okay. You sign up. You walk around, no mask, no social distancing, no washing your hands, because you say, I don't believe. Look, that's signing up to get sick. You don't participate. I don't want to wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask, but I wear a mask everywhere I go.
Yes, I do.
All right, and I don't go that many places. I go to the grocery store. I go to the post office. I go to the maybe to the bank, and I sit in my car in the bank. But I wear a mask everywhere I go outside of my house because that's what it's going to take for us all to help each other. And so I'm going to not participate in getting sick. And then I'm not going to commiserate. That means I'm not going to talk down in the mouth all day, all night, and just dwell on the bad news all day. Did you hear how many people died? I understand it, but I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to find something to be grateful for. There's something about gratitude. It gives you power. Let me tell you, it gives you hope. Let me tell you what hope is, George. Hope in the future will give you power in the present.
Hope in the future will give you power in the present.
Yes.
Hope in the future will give you power in the present. That's power. Hope in the future will give you power in the present. Yes.
Yeah, so you got to have hope, and that's not done by the fact that you talk and commiserate about how bad it is. Speak good. Find something to be grateful for, something to be excited about. I'm grateful every morning. I wake up, I look up, and I say, thank you, God, for another one. I got another one. Somebody had planned to be here. They had places they're going to go, people they're going to see. They're going to have calls they're going to make, but they didn't wake up. Yeah. They didn't wake up. So every day you wake up, you be grateful. And next thing I encourage people to do is when you wake up, first, be grateful. Second, make sure that you get some activity. some sort of physical movement, whether it's walking up and down the steps 5 or 6 times or 10 times, whether it's doing some simple jumping jacks, or whether it's going for a walk when it's not too cold. I've been riding my bike this since the pandemic, and I put more miles on my bike this year than I put on my car. And so I'm riding my bike. I even got a winter outfit that I can put on so I can get out and get it, because there's something about that exercise that releases endorphins. Endorphins are natural uppers that released in your body that the body has for you, but you've got to release them by your activity. It'll bring your spirits up. Now, first, you want to pray. Then you want to have physical activity. And then you want to fill your mind with the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Every day.
3 P's.
Come on now, the
PP.
pure,
Wait. PPP. Right? So you want to make sure you have your personal protective equipment at all times. And then we want to do what?
PPP. Pure. You want to fill your mind with the pure, the powerful, and the positive.
Okay.
Now, you want to fill up, because your input determines your output. If you put a lot of garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. You put good stuff in. Every morning, I tell you, I pray. I wake up and thank God. Then I take time to pray. I meditate. Then I read something positive, some scripture. I read a proverb every day. There are 31 of them, one for every day of the month. And I read it in the Message version so I can get the New English version, way to get it. And then I listen to some positive music every morning at my desk. I turn it on. Something that lifts my spirits, makes me feel better. Oh, yeah, I'm ready now. Oh, yeah, I done my walk. I'm ready to go.
Before you scroll on Instagram and Facebook and turn on the news and turn on all of that,
Look,
right?
there's a study done, exactly, George. There was a study done that showed that people who read or listen or fill themselves up with something positive in the first 20 minutes of the day have over 40% greater achievement than those who don't. Now, why is that? Well, if you woke up and it was rainy and it cold and clammy and wet and dreary, what does your body want to do?
Turn over.
Turn over and stay in bed. You don't want to get up, you don't want to get up. But if you woke up and the sun was shining, the birds were singing, a beautiful day, glorious day, the sun was peeking through, and you heard the birds out there, you don't want to miss any of that day. So you get up and get busy. Same is true for your psyche, your mind. If you woke up and you heard how many people got killed, how many fires there were, how many little children got snatched.
That's the first thing we do oftentimes.
Oh, and it puts a cloud over your mind. That is why, George, I started my daily 1-minute motivational messages that we started on radio and now is expanded to video. And you can get it sent to, I'll send it to people. We send it out free, one every day, Monday through Friday. Every day we send out one, and it will inspire you. 1 minute. People all over the globe now saying that's what I needed to hear today. So you can go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, and sign up for our newsletter right there, winwithwillie.com, and you can get that sent to you. Now, we say you need to have that positive every day because it's something that lifts your mindset. It gives you some hope, and which we always said, hope in the future gives you power in the present.
So it's the pure, the what?
Powerful, and the positive.
And the positive, the pure, the positive, and the powerful.
The powerful and the positive and the powerful.
I can't read my handwriting.
That's all right. The pure, the powerful, and the positive.
I got you. Let me just tell people that we're talking with Willie Jolley. He's an internationally known best-selling author, speaker. I forgot to mention, he's on Sirius XM channel 141.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And I catch you with the show every now and then. And so we're talking.
It's 4:00 on Saturdays, Tuesday and Thursdays at 6 p.m. One show per week. This week coming up will be Bob Proctor. Next week will be my friend Les Brown, or he'll be in the next couple of weeks. We've got some great guests coming up. And for people who say, well, you know what? I don't have Sirius XM. No worries, baby. No worries.
You got them?
I got you. I got everybody who don't have Sirius XM. You can get the podcast. Every week we take the show and put it on podcast after it airs on XM. You can get it on iHeartRadio, C-Suite Radio, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Podcast.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so, and he's on Inspiration for the Nation, and we love him, and he's here to help us to kick this New Year's off, even in the midst of what's going on. So we
All
got,
right, so I said, don't panic.
you said that.
Don't willingly participate nor commiserate.
You said that.
Don't let your pride poison your prosperity.
Okay, so now that's ministry now. See,
All right,
now
don't
you're
let your
getting there.
pride poison your prosperity. What that means? What
Yes.
that mean? What that mean? What that mean?
What that mean, Willie?
That mean you might have lost your job or money might be tight. Maybe you need to do something outside of your traditional revenue generating activity. Maybe you got to drive an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got to deliver
DoorDash or one of those.
DoorDash,
Groupon or Grubhub.
whatever. Well, you know what? And people say, "But that's below me." No. If it's legal and it's moral, it's honorable. Come on now. If it's legal and it's moral, it's honorable work. And so don't let your pride that's below me or something like that, don't let it stop you. You want to survive through this. You just want to get through this. I got a song on my winwithwillie.com song website called "We'll Get Through This." It's on YouTube as well. Les Brown has blown it up and he made it a viral sensation because he say he talks about it every day, and he plays it. He said every night before he goes to bed and when he wakes up in the morning because he's fighting cancer. And he said that encourages me. So winwithwillie.com, we'll get through this. But what you want to do is don't let your pride poison your prosperity. So keep going through this. We'll get through this. Now, number 4, don't stop thinking about the power and the possibilities of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't stop thinking about the power and the possibilities of tomorrow. And that's when we get into, you've got to think about your goals and dreams, even in the midst of challenging time. Now, I know it's a challenging time. You got to keep one eye on the challenge, but one eye on the future. Now, if you're playing golf, let's say, well, let me give you somebody who can play golf, because I don't play that well. But Tiger Woods, let's say he hits a ball and he hits it and the wind takes it over to the woods. So he got a problem, but he's in a tournament where if he wins it, he makes $1 million.
Right.
So does he panic and start swinging at the ball? No. He thinks, okay, let me deal with this problem right now. Let me just get it out of this rough place back on the green. So he looks for a place where he can get it out and back into play. Then he thinks about his goal, winning the tournament. And that's why you got to have clear, empowering, compelling goals, because they will keep you focused in the tough moments. And everybody has tough moments. And so every year, at the beginning of the year, we do a goal setting seminar. Have been doing it for over 25 years. Typically, we get a big hotel ballroom and people come and thousands of people come and we have a great event. Well, last year, something was strange because we did something different. For the first time ever, we did it online, virtually. I had no idea. George, I wish I could tell you I was erudite and scholarly and a futurist. That I knew that 2 months later that the world was going to go crazy and we would all be online.
You didn't know that.
Idea. Had no idea.
So this was before COVID.
This was last January. We did this. I had no idea, and I wasn't smart enough to have known it. All I knew was people were emailing me when they saw we were going to do this from Australia, New Zealand, Japan, South Africa, saying, we've got to have access to your goal setting. We've heard about the results you've gotten. People who've gone from broke and busted to success, millionaires even, written books, started business. We've heard about it. We want to be there. We want to access it. So I said, okay, I'll do it online. Let's do this internet thing. And I taped it. And it exploded. So we want to have that, and I want to give you access to your listeners to be able to access that goal setting seminar. Now go to winwithwillie.com, get the free video sent to you. But if you want to get the goal setting seminar, you go to wjspeaks.com/goals. wjspeaks.com/goals. This goal setting seminar is about 4 hours, but you and your family should do it together it will change your life. It will possibly change your legacy, not just your life. Because one of the things my wife and I did, we set a goal that a couple years ago, someone asked me on a TV show, and I just blurted it out. They said, "What's your biggest goal?" And I didn't think about it. I didn't take time to dwell on it. I said, my biggest goal is that 100 years from now, some child will walk into a room and see a picture of me and my wife and run up to the pictures and kiss it. Say, thank you, great, 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 great granddaddy, and great, 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 great grandmama, for what you did to make it possible for us to have a home, a family place, a business, a college education, for us to have resources, that you have left us something that was more than just Papa was a Rolling Stone.
And see, that fits in with our messaging with Willie, with Vicky Bracken's talking about what I'm hearing you say is securing and maintaining generational wealth that can be passed on to future generations. That's what I'm hearing.
That's right. That's exactly right. So what we did, we set a goal. I set it, then we started working on the goal. We got an excellent estate lawyer, one of the best, African-American lady named Amy Griffin, one of the top estate experts in America. And we engaged her to create a 100-year trust. Okay, so that whatever we put in that trust, it will be only giving off enough dividends to keep each generation giving them something, but you won't ever exhaust the.
I'm just I know Vicky's listening to you say that, and I can see her with a champagne glass saying, "Go ahead, Willie, talk to me."
That's what we're doing. So that's exactly, Vicky. That's exactly right. We decided that we were going to do it, and we set a goal, and we established it, and we got a plan, and we want to. And let me tell you something. This is tough because we got some family members who are in this generation, who are here now, who we've made some standards for them that if they don't, one, get an education, two, that they don't have a desire to be hardworking and have a work ethic, that the trustee will look at their numbers. And if they haven't committed to education and haven't done certain things, we've set some standards, they get nothing. It goes to the next generation. Just because they're my family members don't mean that I got to let them squander my money that I worked hard for.
Right.
All right. And that's hard. And that's a hard one. But we must make people aware that there's stewardship and that everybody must be a good steward. That the Lord says to us, God tells us, be a good steward about what I give you. And to those who much is given, much is expected. And in the talents, in the proverb about the talents, Jesus taught about the talents. The one that had 10, he said, good, well done, you get more. The one that had 5, well done, you get more. But the one who had 1 who buried it and did nothing and they had no return on the gift that was given to the talent, said, I'm taking what you got and give it to the one of the others.
I'm taking it away. Yep. So let me contextualize. So did we get all of them in?
Let's see. We got don't panic, don't willingly participate, don't or commiserate, don't let your pride poison your prosperity, don't stop thinking about the power and possibilities of tomorrow. There's 3 more. They're in the book. Turn setbacks into greenbacks.
Come on with it then. Let's
let me give you 3 more.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 is be proactive. Don't wait for your ship to come in. Swim out to it.
Come on now.
All right, get on the phone, make calls, talk to people, keep hustling, keep talking to people, rise and grind, not just rise and shine, then rise and grind. And then the next one is be creative. Everybody got some genius. It's not if you are smart, it's how are you smart. So everybody use those gifts. Everybody got some genius. Everybody. Find what you're gifted in. Find what you do that is easy for you, but others, it might be a little more difficult. And then number 7, be prayerful. Be prayerful. I
Okay.
want you to understand that you have powerful prayers. Now, George, that's actually number one. In these tough times, you should be praying.
Amen.
But I put it at number 7 in the book because far too many people of faith even, will pray and do nothing else.
Mm.
It's like a lady came up to me one day and said, she said, I heard you on the radio, I've seen you on TV. I need a job. I said, well, what are you doing to get a job? She said, I prayed about it. I said, great. What else? She said, that's all. Ha! Let me tell you, the Chinese have a proverb that I love. He or she who wait for roasted barbecue duck
Uh-huh.
fly into their mouth,
Uh-huh.
wait a long time.
Wait a long time.
That duck is not gonna fly in your mouth.
All right, so,
Barbecue.
so I love what you did. So let me ask you. These are 3 questions around the same sort of thing because I want to get to what stops people. So let me lay out like a whole scenario, and then you can help me with this issue. So sometimes many of us will feel like we got it. We start out strong and then we peter out. And
Yeah.
so I wonder what's going on here. Is it because we're not mentally prepared? And then what happens is we get into self-disappointment, then self-sabotage, and then so how do you and then also we don't then focus on our own dreams and aspirations. We're too busy helping other people meet their thing without us doing our thing. So what have you seen around those kinds of scenarios as a coach, a life coach, as a motivational speaker, in helping people in those scenarios to stay the course, to stay strong, to continue even and avoid the self-sabotage, the self-disappointment, and the not being mentally prepared?
Well, I think there are a couple of things that go in there. One is that you are not making the commitment to
Mm.
constant and continuous personal development,
Mm-hmm.
growing yourself, that you get what you are.
Mm.
Okay. If you are a small thinking person, you'll get that. That's what your life will end up being. If you're a big thinker, now how do you get there? Well, it's personal and professional development. You get what you are. So if you go to the gym and you've never been to the gym and you go in and try and pick up 100-pound weight, you're gonna have some problems.
You gotta
But you
have some.
but you start with 10 and get that, and then you go to 20 until you can get to 100. You work your way up. And so at this point, you've got to make the decision that I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna develop myself. And then the next part is that your why is not strong enough. Your
Mm.
why. I gotta get up out of bed. I gotta do this because I got a big, strong why. That's where the goals comes back. What is your goal? What is that North Star, that defining moment message that is keeping you going in the tough times? That's where your goals play. I read my goals every day. I read and remind myself because life has all sorts of distractions. All of this stuff in the politics, distraction. I can't not watch it. I cannot not watch it because I got to know what's going on. I live in DC.
Right,
We
right,
we on curfew.
right, right.
The mayor shut it down.
Shut it down.
So I got to know what's going on, but I also got to know what my goals are. And I reread them daily.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I just hone in on that real quick?
Yeah.
As you, and don't forget where you are because I want
Yeah,
to,
that's all right.
because I, a lot of this external thing right now is really affecting a lot of people. And then you look at what Black folk have been through in history, but also in this past year around some of these unarmed shootings. And then you look at how the mob who stormed the Capitol was treated. And I'm beginning to, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm beginning to think with no real, because the Capitol Police were undermanned, was that even planned? But I don't want to get into all of that. But
Mm.
what I want to ask you is, so in the context of what I asked you before, and then these external things that are heavy, they're heavy, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do we not stumble? Because that's, we could say easily, yo, because of the thing that happened in DC this week, I can't really, I can't move. all today, during the day that this happened, I was getting messages around, how you doing? I'm out of my mind. Like people were going, they were really not really processing what happened this week. So I want to just hone in on this idea of not letting the external kill what you're trying to build. Because if you're trying to build a commitment to something, things like this and other things easily take you off of it. So,
well, that's why you have to. I cannot get away from the goals, George, because life will distract you if you're not clued in, if you're not keyed in. This is what I'm about. This is what I've decided to do. So I give you an example. Somebody called me the other day with something, and he wanted me to do something. I said, hold on. I have just set up a trust, and I'm trying to make sure that there's adequate money in that trust to be able to fund the things we want to do 100 years from now. And we got to get X amount of money in there by X date that I want to get beyond what we already got. I can't do that, my man. I can't get distracted by it. I just have to say no. Warren Buffett talks about one of the keys to success is to learn to say no. Warren Buffett, he said, I say no to a lot of stuff that people say, well, this is a hot investment, hot thing. I don't understand it. No, I don't understand it. No. Be willing to say no and not be rude or nasty. Just no, I can't do that. So I stay clear on my goals and dreams and what I'm trying to achieve. There are a lot of distractions, and people say, well, if you can make a lot of money doing it. I say, but he who chased 2 rabbits ended up eating neither. Come on, somebody.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, Willie, you done gave us a whole lot to think about, a lot to work with. wjspeaks.com/goals, winwithwillie.com, williejolly.com, and check him out on the Sirius XM 141 on
Sirius XM 141. Oh, and Monday nights, every Monday night, 9:00. Happily Married Monday with the Jollies. Me and my bride, we wrote the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last.
Yes.
10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. 36 years married, haven't had an argument in over 33 years. Those first couple of years were like World War III, but we learned some principles from some wise mentors. We put those to work. They worked. We put them in a book. Now people's marriages are being healed all over the world. So Monday nights, 9:00, Facebook Live, Willie.Jolley. We do a half-hour television program talking about marriage and how to help your marriage to not only survive, but thrive. So join us. Absolutely free.
Wonderful. And of course, all your books are available on williejolly.com.
Yes, sir.
And this, thank you, Willie.
Hey, my man, George Kilpatrick, it's my joy to have you as a friend. Your bride, your family, your son was down here at Howard, and we got to have time together. Thank you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, inspiring a nation, inspiration for the nation. And we're going to get through this. The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. My boy, Willie Jolley, williejolly.com. We have all of his links. Do everything that he says because the brother is bad.